Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the program. This is the Diana White Show live. We welcome you from around the world and in the United States. Today is a big day at the Supreme Court. They have already made the decision about admissions to college. Should there be preferential treatment for blacks or not? We will get the decision to you. I'm sure you will get it, and we will have it for you. Yes, that is interesting. I know you can remember that the Supreme Court last week struck down the Arizona law. I know they're going to be ruling on things like gay marriage today, or, before June is out, because they go on holiday. Just like I will be going on hiatus. So that will happen. And also, the states that are likely to discriminate against voters, that will also be discussed today. So, citizenship is a requirement to vote in any federal elections, as we know that. But also, we do know that last week the vote was 7-2. Justices Antonin Scalia, writing for the majority, said that a 1993 federal law known as the Motor Voter Act takes precedence over the Arizona law because of its requirement that states accept and use the federal voter registration form. So that was last week, and this week is going to be a big week again for the Supreme Court. We are told that they have already decided about the race in admissions. We will see how that works out and hope it's for the best, you see. And the word I want to start with today is favor. Because you see, we do wonder about favor. Why is it that some people seem to be so much more favored than the other? Why is it that some people are rich and some are poor? Why is it that some people are gorgeous and some are not? Why is it that, people seem to be doing well and you're not, even though you're putting in the struggle and you're doing the things that you need to do? Those are things that I think we all ponder, isn't it? Yes, we all ponder those things. Why is it that someone is mega successful and we are doing the hard work and we just can't get anywhere? So favor ain't fair. That's the simple message. God chooses who he wants to bless. So is that going to be you today, or is that going to be me, or someone in your family? Your children, your husband, whomever, your mother. Who will God choose to bless today? Oh my goodness, I just hope that blessing comes to me. And, I'm hoping it comes to you too, but I want some for myself, okay? So let's just open our boxes of blessings this morning and hope that the blessing that God is about to give comes to us, because favor ain't fair. Because I've truly wondered about that all my life. Why is it that some people are so talented and they just never seem to get their voice heard? Why is that? Why is it that some people ponder and work so hard at businesses and they just don't seem to make that $1 million and more? Why is it? Why is it that people who are not so smart didn't even go to college and they become millionaires? How about that? And why is it that some people who are so brilliant end up being teachers and they don't make that much money anyway? Why is that? Favor ain't fair. That's what T.D. Jakes says the answer is. It just ain't fair. And if you examine it, you'll realize it just ain't fair. Just ain't fair. Life isn't fair. Why is it that some kids grow up in the same family and one is successful and one goes to prison? Favor ain't fair. So we can go through all of those scenarios. And why is it that T.D. Jakes can have his Woman Thou Art Loose and Mega Fest and it's big? Thousands come from around the world. And some people are trying so hard and they're so great a preacher and everything else, but they just can't make it more than 100 or 150 people. Why is that so? Favor ain't fair. So favor is a word I want you to keep in mind all week and evaluate how it works for you. And maybe you just need to play a little harder and ask God to give you some of his favor and his grace and his blessings. So let's start our week off by doing that. Praying for favor, grace, and blessings from God. Because if we get those things, we will be walking straight. And did you know that by the feng shui rules, if you place a mirror in your house facing north, your career will take off? And if you put a black mat at your front door, the money will come. Wealth will come your way. But if you decided that you're not going to use your front door, you're going to use the garage door or the kitchen door to get into your house, you're taking out the whole prosperity thing. Oh my God, we're all guilty. We all walk through the garage door to get inside because we parked the car, the door is there. So architects, you need to redesign your houses to make them feng shui properly. Okay, and a lot of us like to walk into our houses and look straight to the lake or straight to the view or whatever. Bad feng shui it is. You should walk in and see something else than the straight bullet to your back door. Because if you do, all your wealth is going through the door. And for those of you who like to keep your toilets open in your house, you need to close the toilet and keep the wealth in the house and let not it go away. So those are some of the things I just thought I'd shared with you this morning. And if you happen to face a mirror in the southeast corner of your house, it will bring you wealth. And if you face the mirror east, it will take care of your family and yourself. So just thought I would share that. But anyway, so favor, 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 favor me, Lord Jesus. I will honor your favor. And I will never forget to tell everyone that it's because of your favor and your blessings and your grace and your miracles why I am still sitting in this chair and saying, welcome to the Diana Wright Show live. Hoping I can inspire you today. Hoping I can give you some courage, some knowledge, and make you love yourself even better than you did a moment ago. So our crusade is loving yourself. I love me. That's the crusade. And that's why we picked a day for it. International I Love Me Day is April 30th every single year, and we want you to celebrate it. We would love for you to buy the t-shirt to go along with it. That's on my website at dianawrighttv.webs.com. But you can do whatever you please, because my intention is to get you to love yourself. And if you buy my t-shirt, that's the grace that comes with it. So, welcome to the program again. And it is indeed Monday. And this is going to be my last full week before my hiatus, because, you know, you have to take a break, rejuvenate, spend time with your family, love your mom a little more, show her some love, be with her, and do all those wonderful things. Enjoy the outdoors. Enjoy. Because you know that Europeans take vacations. Americans think it's some big deal to take a vacation. That's the reason all television shows go on hiatus. They show you a season, then they go on a break. They rejuvenate, they come with some new ideas, and then they come back to you. So I'll do the same here, because that's just how it's done. Oh, I might surprise you when I'm away and come on using my iPad to come live. But you would just have to be watching every single day for that. Can you do that? And don't forget, don't think I've forgotten my diabetic challenge to all my diabetic friends out there who are watching the program. From around the world or in the US, wherever you are, even Iceland. Dax is back from Iceland, so he'll join us on Wednesday for Wellness Wednesday with Dax Dunn and Rad Wellness located in Plantation, that does great things and great wonders for people who want to lose weight. My goodness, and it cleanses your lymphatic system and does great things for your body. Hallelujah. So Dax will join us for that. And of course, he'll join us again Thursday evening for the men's show, unless something, happens. So we'll do that. But just reminding you that we are going to take our hiatus here. So, anyway, lots of news. But before I even get into the news, which some is quite disturbing, I'll start off by just saying that the heat is on. The Miami Heat is on with LeBron. That's my rhyme for the day. Now, remember I told you when you win, you have 1,000 fathers, and when you lose, you're an orphan? That one game that he played that I spoke about. And everybody was willing to throw him in the graveyard. But no, he won the series for the Miami Heat, I will say. My golly, that young man has gone through so much, but see how favored he is by God. So all the people who are throwing the hate at him, I wonder how they feel now that he's gotten 2 NBA rings back to back. So the Miami Heat is on with LeBron. And he's my favorite athlete, actually. Hope he's worth it. Seems like he is, because he seems to be, okay guy. So far, so good. The only thing I'm not happy about is because he has his girlfriend that has his kids and talking about getting engaged. Don't get engaged. You should have gotten engaged before the baby thing. Now you just need to get married and be done with it. So come on now, LeBron. I hope you're going to do that after you've won another ring. Don't worry about the haters. And he said, I don't worry about them. Good for you, young man. And I am saying to each and every one of you watching me this morning, don't worry about the haters. Don't worry about the negative people. They're always going to be there. Just rise above them and continue to press on. And when you can, kick them to the curb. Yeah, put them in the freezer and forget about them. Because when God is about to bless you, when God opens that door for you, there is no man, no evil, no obia, no voodoo, no whatever can shut it or shut it down. Because you're covered by the divine blessings of the mighty one, God. Just remember I told you that. And if you miss this show, make sure you go back and you rewind it and you watch it again on my website by just going on that YouTube icon. And I will upload it, of course, to YouTube. It takes a couple days to get to my website, but it eventually will get there. But if you can't wait for it to be on my site, just go to YouTube and search and find it. Because when you find each and every one of my show, I promise you that you will get something from any show that I've ever done. We're on to, I think, 163 now? In such a short time? Absolutely. Because I know that favor is on me every single day I wake up. I am truly favored and covered by God. So let us all feel that way today and love ourselves as we continue to press on this day, tomorrow, the next day. But live just for today, because tomorrow is not promised to any of us. So let us make the best of this day that we have, rejoice in the blessings and the favor and the grace of God, and move on. Hallelujah. Yes. So I see now that Paula Deen, she's made 2 videos, YouTube videos. One, she was all made up and, the one that the PR people does, make you look cheeked up and rouged up and all that kind of stuff up. But sincerity, I guess we kind of saw it in the first video, like she looked like she wanted to cry or something, because she realized now the millions are going out the door. and the little houses that she provided for Oprah and Gayle when they went there in their separate quarters. I wonder why they didn't stay in the main house with her. Is it because she think they're niggas or what? Or, how about that? Have you given that any thought? Or is it because her policy in her restaurants states that if you're black, you can only work in the kitchen or you can be the janitor? How so, Miss Dean? I used to love Paula Deen until one day I just got up. I didn't know why. Now I know why. I just decided not to watch anymore. Because I didn't realize and understand what was going on. So, hello, good morning.
This is an important message about...
Okay, just did not want to get that important message. Anyway, I just wanted to say to you, if you are out there, well now, you know, Food Network has dropped Paula Deen. They won't renew the contract at the end of this month. So she only have a couple of days. Was it the 24th today? Okay. But Miss Paula Deen, what are you going to do apart from those? Because see, apologies for me is not a big thing. I truly, because I think that when people apologize, most of the times they're just saying what they're saying to get out of what they did and what they believe in. If you believe in something, like Miss Dean wanted to have a plantation wedding being served by slaves in 2013 or 2012 or whichever year she wanted to have the party or the wedding, do you believe that this can be apologized away? Or do we just believe that Miss Paula Deen is simply a racist? She believes that black people should be janitors and only in the kitchen where they can't be seen much. And if you want to be a manager in her organization and you're black, absolutely not. So how do we come down with this? Because you see, I do believe that people, when they apologize, like Paula Deen should have said, I apologize for calling my employees niggers. I apologize for wanting that plantation wedding and wanting slaves to serve me. I apologize for saying something stupid like I didn't know that what I was doing was offending anyone or hurting anyone. That's how I would like the apology to be done if it's done again. And I know she will be apologizing. And yes, some people are thinking that, oh, another network is going to pick her up because she's so popular. And lots of folks who probably think like her are supporting her. Did she really like Oprah? Or she just likes Oprah because Oprah is one of the niggas who actually made it and can buy her out? Or she likes Gayle because Gayle is Oprah's friend, so she's connected? How do we equate all of this racism thing that we think has gone away and it hasn't? For me, I love people. I don't care where you're from, what color you are, or anything of that nature. What I do want to see in a person, because you know they say, you know, like your friends will tell you, oh, that person's bad, so don't talk to them. No. I will speak to that person until that person puts a screw to me. Then I'll decide that person is no good. So whether you're white or black or green or blue or Hispanic or Asian or Russian, or I don't care. As long as you are a good person that I observe you to be good, because believe me, I have something in my spirit that tells me when people are good. And I suspect that when I stopped watching Paula Deen's show is exactly when she was being exposed. Not today, not yesterday, not last week, but long ago. Because you see, this lawsuit has been going on. And I gather the employee that's suing her is not black, but white. So, whatever we do behind closed doors, do know that it's going to come out in the open. especially when you're doing something that you're pretending to not know it's going to hurt anyone. How on earth could Paula Deen, a woman much, much older than me, don't know that the N-word is offensive? She doesn't know that if you have a silent or open policy about the fact that black people can only be janitors and work in the kitchen, that can be offensive to all black people? You don't have to be African American. You don't have to be born in America. You can just be black anywhere in the world. Miss Dean, come on, people. Lots of people think the way Paula Deen does. Lots of people can be exposed if they're fired. If, their employees, they fire their employees and the employees decide to expose them. Lots of them. But now that she's exposed, are you willing as a black person, or a minority for that matter, work for Paula Deen, buy her products, watch her TV show, and know the way she thinks? Or should we just forgive and move on? I ask you to forgive, but I would not ask you to go work for Paula Deen in the line of fire. I don't think I would want to do that. And I've been to a couple of her restaurants. They're always empty anyway. And her products are so expensive. Now, QVC is pondering and watching to see where the fall falls out before they decide to kick her off of QVC. And then her products are sold in Walmart and Target and some other places. Are they going to kick her out too? We want to watch this. Because you see, black people, as that young man said the other day, the young musician, said that we are taught to hate ourselves. Well, I am here to teach you to love yourself, whether you're black, white, green, or blue, or brown. But while you're loving yourself, are you supposed to be supporting someone who you know hates you by making them more wealthy? Or are you supposed to forgive them? I'm not there yet. Forgive, but you can't forget. You can't be having that cloak over your forehead that you don't know what's going on. And if you really read the Bible, do you think Jesus forgot about Judas? He forgave him, but do you think he forgot about him? I don't think so. He will always remember Judas, because you and I will always remember the Judases in our lives. We never forget them. We forgive them to breathe. We forgive them to let ourselves be free. But we will never forget the Judases or the haters around us. Because it's just not possible. If it was possible, Jesus would have forgotten Judas. I don't think he did. If there's a preacher out there that can correct me, please do. But I don't think there is. Just like Judas did what he did in a clandestine way, never thinking he would be caught, he was caught. And Jesus knew he was being deceptive even before everyone else knew. Because there's a sense that you know, that you know, that you know. So, are you willing to forgive Paula Deen? Is Paula Deen a racist? Would you be willing to work for Paula Deen, knowing the way she wants you just to be the janitor and in the kitchen, and you will never reach the manager stage? Or is Paula Deen going to do the PR thing right now, and then she's going to speak to the NAACP, and she's going to contribute money to some black people somewhere? Or she's going to hire some black people to make it not look so bad? What is she going to do? Some people are saying that yes, her brand can be rescued. But you know, until the Atlanta Housewives, I don't think people understood that black people can actually make a show popular. And more popular than all the other shows that come under the same umbrella. And that's the reason Atlanta Housewives is actually the #1 out of all the housewives. Did you know that? So yes, I can sit down at my typewriter and write something. It doesn't have to be black, and it can succeed. So how are we supposed to evaluate this whole Paula Deen thing today? And I'm spending a lot of time on it because I think it's really, really important for us to realize and understand what are some of the things that are in people's heart. You can't see it, only God knows it. And I promise you that God will find a way to expose it, like we're seeing now. You and I would never have known. I would never have known why I stopped watching the show for no reason at all. But now you know. There was something in my spirit that made me understand and know that it was not worth watching Paula Deen. Because how does she feel about me? And you. And you. And you. And you. And if you're European and you're not American, I don't know. How does she feel about you? Maybe, you never know. Wow. Woohoo! Lots of things to think about today. The products in the store, you need to stay away from them until you understand why you're buying them. Is it because there's no other product but Paula Deen's product? Are you just a true supporter of Paula Deen? And now you see Paula Deen gets risen, and then her 2 sons get their own shows. Are they worthy of getting their own show, or is it just that they're just favored more than you and I? Favor ain't fair. Remember, that's how I started the show. So as we continue now, we just wonder, how is the environment at Paula Deen's empire today? My, she was so begging for forgiveness. But like I said, apologies, not one of my big suits. Because I do believe that when people apologize, I'm going to say it again. When they apologize, they are only doing it to get away with what they did. And to appease you for what they did. Trust me, I am telling you that that is a fact. So when your children try to apologize to you, let them tell you why. Why are you saying you're sorry? Because until they know why they're saying they're sorry, the sorry doesn't count. The apology doesn't count. Because if Paula Deen truly believes that she didn't know that what she was doing was going to be offensive, she needs to go take some classes, go pray to God, let God reveal it to her, or something. That's just my take. How about that? Welcome to those of you watching from around the world and in the United States. This is the Diana Wright Show live. And we remind you of October 5. As we come to that juncture now, we want to remind you of October 5, which is the white fundraising party being given by Save a Life Jamaica Foundation, and we invite you to come in your thousands. Wow, that will be a big party. But I want you to come in your thousands. Come on over and join the party. We'll all be there. Novelet Gale and me and all the great people that will be there. And if you can't make it because you're overseas or you have a previous engagement or whatever, just go to Save a Life Jamaica Foundation and donate the $30 that you would have paid to come to the party. So do join us October 5. Remember, you must wear white. That's my only requirement. White and $30. And you don't have to go out and go buy no white outfit. Just take something white from your closet. But you must wear white. I'm not talking about the shoe color now. The outfit must be white. So if you want to wear a red shoes or a blue shoes or a purple shoes, that's all up to you. Pink shoes, doesn't matter. But black shoes, that's cool too. But you must wear a white outfit, male and female. Guys, don't think you're excused because it's so easy for you. You just need a white shirt and a white pants. That's it, and you're good to go. So, also coming up in August 3rd, from 9 a.m. to 12 noon, Judith from People 490 will be having a customer service seminar. And then from 1 to 2 on August 3rd, they'll be having a session for those of you who want to get some training on that business etiquette. Yeah. So, have I covered everything for the month of June and July and August? Yes, I have. And I'm gone to October too. And I'm even gone to April 30th, 2014 already. So, let's move on now to Mr. Snowden. Mr. Snowden has taken a very precarious journey. Hong Kong. Then he seeks the advice of Mr. WikiLeaks, who's been living in the Ecuadorian embassy in London for the past year, for advice and for, I guess, some plane money and all that kind of stuff. And then he was supposedly on the plane to Russia, to Moscow, and then on to Ecuador. Okay, I'm going to stop at Moscow for a minute. So here I am in Moscow, Mr. Snowden, and for all the prisoners and all the bad people that we have sent back to Russia for persecution, I wonder why Mr. Putin would not get involved. Oh, they're saying he can't get out of the airport, but you think Mr. Putin would care about that if it's somebody he wanted to catch? Let's see what Mr. Putin does in Moscow. We're watching you, Mr. Putin. You left your wife, so do you have a girlfriend or what? No, we don't care about that. We care about what you're going to do about Mr. Snowden. Because Mr. Snowden is a traitor. I am here to tell you that, yes. Because for you to be entrusted in a job that is confidential and then you decide to go overseas and expose it to a journalist and go to a country that's so connected with China. China ain't no lover of the United States. They just want to sell us their goods. Trust me, they ain't. So they want to sell us all their products. Because they have cheap labor and the quality is most of the times no good. Because if you buy clothing that is made in China, check the labels. The ones that actually look better are the people of the top designers like Ralph Lauren and those guys. Yeah? Because if you try to boycott China, oh my God, it's so difficult. I tried it and I just gave up. I don't give up on many things, but if you should check the label of just about everything you buy, from what you eat, from what you sleep in, from what you wear, it's made in China. I don't care who the designer is. It's very difficult to find something that's made in Italy anymore. Because you know all those fancy, expensive clothing that used to be looking so great. Check them. Made in China. So then we move now to Ecuador. It seems like the foreign minister of Ecuador hates the United States. That's the vibe I'm getting from him. He's so hostile. Why is he so hostile? And all you Americans who have decided to move to Ecuador because it's cheaper, I'm here to tell you this morning that I don't feel the Ecuador spirit at all. Because you see, cheaper is not always better, and cheaper is not always safer. If I had moved to Ecuador, I would be feeling very insecure today. The things that are coming out of that foreign minister's mouth in Ecuador. Oh, the U.S. should not... Basically, the U.S. has offended everyone in the world by spying. Did we not know from day one, from existence, that America was in the business of spying? Did we not know that our cell phones are spying on us? What didn't you know? Why are people pretending to think and act as if they never knew that since 9/11, the spying just got worse because of the Patriots Act? I will continue to say this on it till it gets through to you. You've been spied on from day one, and since 9/11, the spying has just escalated. Because the government of the United States is obviously trying to keep us safe, so they're trying to figure out what you're doing, what you're saying, what sites you're going to. Are you there for long? Are you there for something else but what you're supposed to be there for? And if you believe that no one is spying on you, oh my goodness, you must have your own world in outer space. Because unless you're living in outer space, which I think some people were living outer space because they decided to do a video that talked about the Spurs as the NBA champions of 2013. So if you decided that you want to live in that virtual world and you're not being spied on, then hooray to you. But if you're living in the real world, I'm here to say to you, you're being spied on every day. That's the reason your cell phone can tell you where you are when you're there. Hello. Wake up, people. And stop acting as if we didn't know. Unless you forgot about the Patriots Act. Unless you forgot about 9/11, which we are reminded of every single year with that celebration. We're reminded of the buildings that are going up in New York City. So why are we pretending like we never knew? Why is it that the Ecuadorian minister, foreign minister, is pretending like he didn't know that America is spying on everyone? Why? Because we simply decide to live in denial, most of us. And if we live in reality, we will know and appreciate just what's going on around us. Well, a lot of people say, I don't trust the government. But do you trust your husband or your wife? Do you trust your children? Do you trust your mother, your father, your siblings? Who do you trust? Can you trust anyone but yourself? You really can't. Because you and you alone can only trust you and God, because those are the only two things that you can trust. God, His Son Jesus, and yourself. You can't trust your wife, you can't trust your husband, you can't trust your children, because at some point, you can't trust your friend. They will disappoint you at some point. Not saying that you should live in fear either, because fear is not a good thing. But you should just be mindful of your surroundings and who you decide you're going to put your trust in. And so you tell someone a secret and you say, don't tell anyone, it's just between you and I. The moment it comes out of your mouth, it's no longer a secret. Okay? All right. So, Mr. Snowden, the traitor. You need to come back to the U.S. if you claim you want to do so much for the world and the people. And when you are given a job of confidentiality, people should learn to respect that. So even if you're angry with your employer, just go. Find another job and shut your mouth. That's simply what it is. Okay, Mr. Snowden? Not that you're watching my show. But we gather the plane to Ecuador, his seat was empty. So we'll just watch and see. Because I don't think the Ecuadorian foreign minister likes the U.S. a lot. So why is he inviting so many Americans to come and live there? Because it's cheaper? Cheaper ain't better. And cheaper is never, ever, ever safer. Okay. Miami, they say, may be underwater by the end of the century. But Miami, you don't have to worry, because Boston is in the same boat. New York City is in the same boat. And so is London. Okay? Also, oh my goodness, George Zimmerman versus Trayvon Martin. George Zimmerman supporters, Trayvon Martin supporters. I am here to wonder, is Zimmerman going to go on the stand and testify for himself? Because he said it was self-defense. So I would think if you're gonna talk about self-defense, you should be up there speaking about that self-defense, shouldn't you? And should we really and truly believe that that voice screaming on that 911 call is Zimmerman? How does it sound to you? Most people are saying it's Trayvon Martin, and it kind of sounds that way to me too. So as we watch that trial, it began today, because it started already. We will see. But I am here to tell those jurors, who are all women, by the way, why did they choose women only? You see, women are able to kind of go through the process and see the truth, even in the forest. I think we have that ability to do so. We're more compassionate, we're more emotional, and we're more diligent. So let's see what those women jurors do. They're sequestered for the time of the trial. But are they already influenced? Because I don't think there's anyone on the planet that didn't know about this Zimmerman Trayvon Martin thing. And I just kind of wondered, how come Zimmerman, this big guy, was threatened by this little teenager who had what in his hand? And he was actually talking to his friend on the cell phone? Or is it because he was wearing that hoodie and he looks like a black man? What is it about the hoodie that make you look like a black man? Well, I see lots of white kids wearing that hoodie thing. Don't like it for myself. But is the hoodie now a symbol of a black teenager? Wow. The clothing has gotten some power. And Mr. Zimmerman, I guess also that is in the whole trial thing today will be that stand your ground law. That's going to be challenged too in this process. But I am here to foresee and predict and prophesy, whatever you call it. If those jurors decide to let Mr. Zimmerman go free, you will see what happened in California when Rodney King trial ended and those officers were free. We will see a repeat. So people, the jurors that were chosen, I hope that God will give them the design insight into this trial, because this is going to be a big one. A big one. Is Mr. Zimmerman, what race is Mr. Zimmerman anyway? Because I hear a lot of people talking about black man versus white man. But what race is Mr. Zimmerman, please? Someone enlighten me. So we'll be watching that trial too as we go during the week and next week, and we'll see what happens with that one. How the defense and the prosecution will come out in this. This is going to be an interesting one. I promise you it will be. I don't promise you I'm going to be watching though. But anyway, just reminding you, the big word for today is favor. And I'm reminding you that favor ain't fair. Sorry, it just ain't fair. That's just how the planet works. There's some people that's going to be poor, and some's going to be rich, and some's going to be middle class, and some going to be just barely making it. That's just how life works. But if you ponder and you continue to do your part and keep pressing on with your dream and your passion and don't give up, you will find your favor and your grace. That one I can promise. Okay, this one isn't going to do much for the reputation of ex-wives now. If you're an ex-wife, you are an ex-wife. You're not entitled. And first of all of you ex-wives, you need to take that ring off your finger. Put it someplace else. Put it on another finger, somewhere, another hand. No. Lots of you ex-wives wearing that ring still to pretend as if you're still married. Absolutely wrong. So, many folks might argue that Stephen Phillips deserves any break he can get. Convicted of a number of sex crimes in the 80s, Phillips was exonerated by the courts after spending 24 years in prison. When DNA implicated another man, he was provided with a compensation package. You know, normally when you're in jail for a long time and you didn't do what they said you did, you can sue the government and the people and you get some money. So, his package totaled $6 million for those 2.5 decades. And the woman who divorced him while he was in jail, Tracy Tucker, she wants a cut of the money. No, Tracy, no, you don't deserve a cut of the money. Last year, a judge awarded her $150,000, and now Phillips is appealing that decision. Mr. Phillips want to appeal the money that she got while he was in jail, because I guess when you have your husband in jail or something, you can sue somebody and get some money. To make a claim on those years I spent in prison is really freaking outrageous, Mr. Phillips said. So do you agree with Mr. Phillips or not? If you're in prison and your wife divorces you and you are in prison and you did not even commit the crime, you come out of prison and you get some money in the tune of $6 million, should you give some to your ex-wife? Absolutely not. Tracy, go find a job and leave Mr. Phillips alone. You divorced the guy because you did not believe in him anymore. You thought he did what they said he did, and he didn't. And that comes to another point. How much do you trust your spouse? Are you sleeping with the enemy? A lot of women are. Seriously. I heard something very interesting this week from a preacher who was performing a wedding ceremony, and he said this to be funny, but I thought it was really profound. He said, marriage proposals and all those things, the whole marriage thing is like a circus. It starts off with an engagement ring that some of us might just be lucky to have gotten. Then you get a wedding ring that most of us, I think, got. We might have missed the engagement ring, but we got the married ring. Because, you know, you got to have something for the minister to put on your finger. But then he said, and the third phase is the suffer ring. So the suffer ring. And I wonder how many wives are out there in their marriages going through the suffering without leaving. Well, I'm here to encourage you that if you are truly suffering in a marriage, you need to leave that marriage. God doesn't like divorces, but God did not want you to suffer either. So, from the engagement ring to the married ring to the suffer ring, I don't know about the suffering part. I can't see the God that I love so much allow you to suffer in a marriage and you stay. So if you're suffering, that means you're being verbally abused, mentally abused, psychologically abused, emotionally abused, physically abused, and you're just simply unhappy and suffering. But whose fault is that? Aren't we supposed to think of this thought? That a man treats a woman the way the woman allows him to treat her. Keep that in mind. A man treats a woman the way she allows him to treat her. Because if your husband is nasty today and you just say, hey fella, I ain't putting up with that, you better either take that back, adjust your attitude and fix that, and don't come to me with that. Or are you going to stay there and continue to take it because, of course, you're dependent on the money. You're dependent on the Mercedes or the Range Rover or the Rolls Royce that you're driving and the fancy house that you live in, the mansion and the status of the social circle. Ladies, you are not supposed to be suffering in a marriage. You're supposed to be happy. Sometimes you might find yourself a little lonely. Yeah, that's okay. And sometimes you may even feel alone even though you have someone else in the bed. Because you have your own issue that's going on in your mind. But you're not supposed to be suffering. Okay? So if you're suffering in your marriage today, I'm bold enough to tell you to walk away. Because that's not what life is supposed to be about. Remember, God wants us to be happy and live prosperously and abundantly. So where does suffering come in that equation? I don't see it anywhere. He took all our suffering on that cross. So ladies, if you are in that suffering marriage, you need to adjust something, do something, get some counseling. If you decide to stay, and if it can't be fixed, you need to suffer no more. I always think it's better to go to a shelter and live for a while until you get on your feet than to be in a suffering relationship. Truly. That's just me. Anyway, there's a man called Wesley Warren. He had a huge problem. Now he has a small but maybe equally vexing problem. Warren, who suffered from scrotal lymphedema, underwent a 13-hour surgery last year to reduce the size of his 140-pound scrotum. When he awoke from the surgery, though, he discovered that his penis measured just 1 inch. Now, you know, Dr. Melanie Simpson, these questions are coming at you tomorrow evening at the 8 o'clock hour of the Diana Wright Show when Dr. Melanie Simpson joins me tomorrow evening. First, I want to know what is scrotal lymphedema. Then I want to know what is a 140-pound scrotum. Okay, and then I want to figure out how on earth did his penis get to be just 1 inch after that surgery. So, quote, Mr. Warren said, "What came out of a surgery is a nub an inch long and it doesn't get any larger. I'm grateful to have been pulled out of the fire, but now I'm still disfigured." Mr. Warren. Oh, I feel for Mr. Warren. Mr. Warren actually considered having the excised growth sold on eBay to cover his hospital costs. And then he will have to, of course, go and get further surgery. So, Mr. Warren, you were planning to put your 140-pound scrotum on eBay to raise money for your other surgeries? Hello? Uh-oh. So I'm going to put this on the side. You see, this is for Dr. Melanie when she joins us tomorrow at the 8 o'clock hour of the Diana Wright Show. Wow. And I wonder how Ed Koch would be feeling today if he could actually feel from the grave. Some people, the mediums, they think they can talk to the dead. So maybe they should tell Ed Koch something. And how would you like to die and the wrong birthday is placed on your tombstone? No, please make sure mine is correct. Well, former mayor of New York, Ed Koch, who died in February, and there was all this meticulous planning of his funeral that I gather he actually planned before he died too, and details. There was one big error. And here what the error was. And is, they put the wrong birth date on there, on his tombstone. Mr. Koch's birthday is December 12, 1924. But it was put on the tombstone as December 12, 1942. So, Mr. Koch tells us he was in World War II. As the inscription also says that he was in World War II. He served in the army force, in the armed forces when he, during the war. So how old was he then? If he was born in 1942. Major mistake on Ed Koch's tombstone. I think they must find a way to correct that, don't you think? I can just, imagine Ed Koch if he was alive saying, those people are stupid. Because he was just that kind of a guy. I don't think he would be very happy about this. The wrong birth date? 1924 instead of... He was born in 24 and they put 42. They turned it around. No. So we're gonna flesh out and see how that's gonna play out and how Ed Koch is gonna get that corrected. Because I know from his grave he's just saying to someone now, you better correct that right now. Okay. All right. If you are a texter, I like to text, but I kind of hate it. But some people kind of force you to text, because they text you so you feel like you have to be obligated to text them back. I truly hate texting. I prefer to talk to you over the phone, especially if you're someone that I really like and I like to hear your voice. I don't like to text. But if I don't like to talk to you that much, it's okay. Texting is fine. But if you're someone that I really like to talk to, I'd rather talk to you on the phone as opposed to texting. I'll text you if it's something urgent or, we can't get to the talking right now. But please don't make it a habit to be texting me all the time. I want to talk to you if I like you. So here it goes. Don't text about, these are the things that you should never text about. You should never text about your fights. If you have a fight and all that stuff, don't be texting. And young girls, you should not be texting your body parts to young men. No. Especially do not text your vajayjay. So no body parts, and the vajayjay is even the worst part. No texting on that note. If you're going to quit from your job, don't text that to your boss. And if you're engaged, don't be texting everyone and putting out a shout out about I'm engaged on a text. And of course, if you're pregnant, please don't do that either. If you're breaking up with someone, like we've seen some other people do not break up with your significant other over a text. Not good. And if you have personal information like your social security number, your bank account information, your website information, your credit card information, never respond to texts asking for any of those things, even if it's your best friend that's asking you to give them your secret codes or anything like that. Don't do it on a text. Did you know that? Yeah. No. Okay. Don't try to write a letter to someone on a text either. And don't try to propose to your girlfriend for marriage on a text either. If you're getting divorced or you want a divorce, do not ask for that divorce over a text. You could be tempted to do that though. If you're that ticked off, you might just be tempted to text that thing over the phone. But resist it, please. Oh, other people's embarrassing moments, you should never text. And if you have secrets, please, don't put it on the text. Don't put it on your email. Don't put it anywhere. Just talk to the person face to face if you're going to tell a secret. Please. No secrets over the phone, over the texting, over your email. Tell a secret to a friend or your husband or whomever, your wife or your children, face to face. That's how you tell secrets. Not on the phone. Not texting. Not emailing. Please. And if you have bad news, like, someone died, don't text me and tell me so-and-so died. Don't do that. That's not good. And if you're going to call in sick from your job, don't text that in either to the HR department. It's not a good thing. It won't be accepted either. And if you're going to apologize to me, can you just do it face to face and not text me your apology? I'd rather it to my face, so I can look you in the eye and see if you're being sincere about that apology. I told you how I feel about apologies at the top of the show because of Paula Deen. Why are you apologizing? Then you explain, and I will consider forgiving you right away, or should I think about it for a minute? Most of the times you need to just forgive and be done with it. But if it's like Paula Deen, I don't know if you want to buy her products or you want to work for her. I don't know about that part. Or you want to be her serving slave. Okay, condolences. A card in the mail still works, or a phone call. Don't be trying to text somebody your condolences. No. And of course, the drunken text. You know, the text that you do while you're drunk and under the influence of something, whatever that something is, don't do it. Because you might just be texting something that you didn't want to text. Oh my goodness. And finally, this morning, I want to talk to you about teachers that they're just saying are mediocre because their training is mediocre. And I'm trying to find out, why is it that they just realize that? The teacher training system is badly broken, turning out rookie educators who have little hands-on experience running classrooms and are quickly overwhelmed by the job. This, according to a report released last week by the National Council on Teacher Quality. The review found an industry of mediocrity. Why are we so surprised? That's the reason most of these young people coming out of high school, they can't even write a letter, or a resume, or a composition, or an essay for that matter. Some of them can, some of them can't. Most of them can't. With a vast majority of programs earning fewer than 3 stars on a 4-star rating scale, and many earnings no star at all. The Council, a bipartisan research and advocacy group, spent 8 years. It took them 8 years to realize that the teachers are not being trained properly, and most of them can't even teach. 8 years developing the methodology, fighting in court to gain access to data. Oh, I see why. And analyzing the information before issuing the report. It contains detailed analysis of 680 colleges and universities with teacher training programs and partial data on 522 others. Those 1,130 institutions collectively turn out more than 170,000 novice teachers annually. About 80% of the new teachers entering classrooms each year. Most of the rest come from non-traditional training programs that are not necessarily affiliated with colleges, such as Teach for America. You've all heard of that. Freshly minted teachers don't know how to teach reading, don't know how to master a classroom, and don't know how to use data. This was said by Kate Walsh, the council's president. The results that were found, she said, were dismal. Attempts to improve teacher training have been underway. The two big teachers' union have both called for aspiring educators to get better mentoring and more practical experience before they graduate. They have also urged tougher certification standards, and that would require candidates to prove their skills in a classroom, not just pass a paper and pencil test before earning a license. Yet the study is the first to attempt a comprehensive rating of teacher preparation programs. Now, a lot of us who have kids, who have children, I like to say children instead of kids, because, you know, kids can mean a whole lot of things. A kid goat, a kid this, a kid that, whatever. So, a lot of us who have children, when we go to these schools and we see these teachers and we see what's coming home, we do know that. We do know. Hello, good morning. Okay. All right. Just to let you know that a lot of people who are teachers, they can't teach. And when you find a good teacher, everyone wants to be in that class. And that teacher can only have X amount of students in their class. So, how does that work? And you see, it took a long time for them to, fight in court to get all the documents and all that kind of stuff and the data, put together the data, but my golly. We keep throwing money at our education system in this country, but it's not solving our problems. We just need better teachers. A teacher is so essential in little school, middle school, junior high, high school, college. They can make or break a student. A teacher can say one thing to a student like, "Oh, I don't think you're going to make it anyway." But for me, I would tell my child, bust your butt, study hard, and show that teacher that you can make it and let them look stupid. That's what I would do as a parent. And that's what you should do as parents. When teachers try to kill your children's confidence, and they can, because teachers can be wicked. Some of them say some things to students that you wonder, how did they get in the classroom? But parents, I am here to tell you to conquer that. You need to encourage your youngsters that they must, absolutely must, work hard, and success is the best revenge on some of these teachers. Because even when they want to mark something wrong, it's so right that they can't mark it wrong. And even though they don't like you because you're black or you're white or you're green or whatever color you are, if you do it right, they can't take it away from you. So success in school for all the students who are entering from little school to college. Work hard and succeed. Show the teacher you can do it, because you can. Remember now, anything you put your mind to. Look at the guy who walked over the canyon yesterday. It's all about his mind. What are you telling your mind you can or can't do? Anything you want to do, you can do. As long as you're willing to work hard, be mentally stable about the thing, focus on what you want, you can achieve it. That's my final message to you today. So use your mind to conquer all the negatives in your life, all the negative people in your life. And even though favor ain't fair, you will get your favor if you put your mind to it. So once again, thank you so much for joining me. And of course, don't forget that April 30th is International I Love Me Day. And we ask you to join us tomorrow morning again for the Diana Wright Show Live. Want to say a shout out to Tina Stewart and Lakem Samaj in Jamaica and Mr. Ellis in Turks and Caicos. Just want to say hello to you. And thanks for joining me on Facebook. Well, if you love something, set it free. If it comes back, it's yours. If it doesn't, it was never yours. If you want to be a sponsor of the show, please give us a call at 561-228-1921. That's 561-228-1921. And if you want to partner with us, that's the same number. If you want to advertise with us, we appreciate that too. If you'd like us to come and speak at your event, we will do so also. And of course, I am thinking of something else. So, we're going to save that for next season. We'll tell you about it, what my thoughts are, because I'm always thinking. My brain is always going. When I'm supposed to be sleeping, I'm thinking. So, and how can I make the show better for you, more interactive? Well, we have the phone, we have Skype. You know, you can join us by those means. So, but there has to be other ways to get you involved, get you to join the conversation. Spread the word, and of course, give us the thumbs up on Facebook and tell your friends on Facebook that the Diana Wright Show is back online live. All right. Have a great day. And as I say, au revoir and ciao and adios. I asked you to be blessed, stay prayed up, and just don't forget that favor ain't fair. Doobie doobie doo.